Good day, my friends. Still on the Learn Python programming series. Today we're going to be looking at for loops and the while loop in Python. So this is a basic mock-up of the for loop and how the for loop works. Now the for loop actually helps us to loop over collections in Python, so we can actually perform operations on them or anything related to that. Okay, so for this basic one, we can actually change the collection to be a list. It can be a tuple, a dictionary, or even a set. So what are we doing here for I in this, or you can say for item, whatever variable and you choose to put here will work. So for item in this, it's going to go ahead and print out that item for us. So if we run this with F5, okay, we would actually have all these numbers printed out. Now where are the numbers coming from? They are coming from this list. Nice. So just to show you that they are coming from this list, let me change this to another one. So F5 on that. You can see another one gets printed out instead of 5, which is to show that every element printed out is from this. Now loops are statements that actually run until a particular condition is met. Now the Python for loop doesn't stop until every item in a collection is actually iterated over or has been touched in the processing time. So what does this do? It prints out an item for this major code. Now notice that there is an index here which actually must be met. If not, your code will not run as expected. Now any code that is on this index of the for loop is going to run under this for loop. Okay, just for noting. So we can come and clear out this to make our own custom one. We can say colors, as I normally use. Colors is equal to, you can have a simple red and blue and let's say white for the love of colors, and then we can see for I in colors. So what are we going to do? Print I. Okay, so if we run this, it's going to print out every element in the colors. Okay, so remember, we can actually make this variable much more user friendly. We can say for color in colors, we're just going to print the color. Now if I run this, it's going to be actually the same output, but this looks better and it's actually more presentable. Okay, so if you want to loop over numbers, how do you do that? And there's a function in Python that is known as the range function, and I'm just going to give that maybe a is equals to range, and the range function takes numbers. So let's just go ahead and print a to the screen. Now you can see the range is in purple, which means that Python actually recognizes this as a keyword or maybe a function. So when we go and run this application, you can see that we are having range 0 to 10. Now how do you convert this to a list? Maybe you want to see a list of items that are in the range. This is how to do that. You know, I taught you about casting. So you can see we write list and then we open the parentheses. Now we can put whatever we want to convert to a list here. Okay, so if we want to convert this range to be a list, we're just going to give that list, open your bracket. Now we're going to put this inside here so I don't confuse you. We're just converting it to a list. Okay, so now if we go ahead and run that, you see we're having numbers spaced out from 0 to 9, which means this 10 is not actually included. Now how do we print 0 to 10? Simple, just change that to an 11, sorry. So when we run that, you would see it's 0 to 10. Now what if we wanted to start from 1? How are we going to do that? You just have to put 1, comma. So this is the start and this is the end. Okay, so when I run that, you would see that I'm having 1 to 10 out on the screen. You can as well add a step. I know this is a bit advanced, but this is just a step. We're saying it should print in a step of 2. Okay, so once we run that, you will notice something down here. We are having 1, 3, 5, and 7 and 9. Okay, so what did that do there? It started from 1 and incremented it by 2, giving us 3, and it's just incrementing it by 2 until it stopped at 9, because we said from I in range 11, because this is the number it's supposed to stop. So once you increment 9 by 2, you're going to get 11, but 11 is not actually included in this, so we have to stop at 9 in this case. Now, how does this lead to for loop? We can just say for I in, you can say range, okay, then you can give a number 10. Then you could come down here and just write custom print I. Okay, this is going to print numbers from 1 to 10, sorry, from 0 to 10, because we haven't declared a start and a stop. So if we want to print numbers from 1 to 10, just the same way we did in the range, just 1, 1. Now remember, this range is like a collection. That's why this loop is actually working. Okay, so once we run this, we're having numbers from 1 down till 10. Now what if we wanted to print only even numbers? Now this is where the step comes in. We start at 2 instead of 1, okay, because 2 is the first even number. Now we're going to print to 10. Now we're going to take a step of what? 2. That is if we wanted to do what? Print even numbers. So it's going to start at 2. The next number will be 2 plus 2, which is going to be 4 and 6 and 8 and so on. That's how this loop is going to work. So we have the even numbers from 2 to 10. Now you can print that up to 100 if you change this, but just to keep it simple on today's tutorial, we're going to be stopping at 10. So that's basically how to do it. Now I'm going to show you another way to do that. We can just go from 1 to 10. Okay, and you know I'm putting 11 because 10 is not actually included here, so that's why I'm using 11. So we can say for I in 1 to 10, what are we going to do? We're going to say if, now we're going to say I modulus 2 is equal to 0. What are we going to do? We're going to go ahead and print I. Now what does this actually do, the I modulus 2? What the I modulus 2 does is it's just going to check if the number divided by 2 is not having a remainder. That means it's actually divisible by 2 without a remainder. And you can actually click on the playlist link on the video description to get more ideas on these other parts which I've treated in and covered in other videos. So what this is going to do, it's going to only print those numbers that are divisible by 2. So you can see this. These are the only numbers that gets printed out to the screen. Now that is basically what you need to know about the for loop. You can try other things like nested for loops and other much more advanced for loop techniques. So for now, this is where we're going to stop for today's tutorial on for loops. So let's take a look at the while loop. Now this is the basic markup for while loop. You're going to say while condition. So what you're going to do is a block of statements. So do something. Now this can take multiple lines. So any bunch of lines that are under this tab are going to run under this while loop condition. Now I can come here and create a variable, maybe a is equals to 10, and I want to run this 10 times. So instead of how the for loop works, what are we going to do? We'll say while, we give a condition, say a is greater than 1. Okay, so what are we going to do? Your column, you're going to just go ahead and print a out to the screen. Now while this condition is true, this is going to run. Okay, now a is equal to 10, which means a will always be greater than 1, and we're just going to keep printing out 10 out to the screen. Now if I run that, you would see that I'm having 10 continuously printed out to the screen without actually pausing. So this will actually eat up your processor time, and your editor will eventually close out because this is running infinitely. Now while creating this, we want to create a point where this actually stops or breaks out. So how are we going to do that? We have to make this condition false, and we're going to do it within our while loop. So here we can just say a is equals to a minus 1. Now this decrements a by 1 every time this loop is actually run. So when we have a greater than 1, you can see we have a is equals to a minus 1. Initially a is 10, so 10 greater than 1, that's going to give us a true, because 10 is actually greater than 1. It's going to go ahead and print 10 to the screen. Now a would be a minus 1, which is 10 minus 1, which will give us a 9. So it will come in here, 9 greater than 1. That's true. It's going to print 9, and A will be 9 minus 1, which is 8, and that is going to continue until it hits 2. A equals 2, it's going to evaluate here, 2 greater than 1. That's true because 2 is greater than 1. It's going to print 2 out to the screen, and it's going to just A will now be 2 minus 1, which will be 1. Now it will come back into this loop. 1 is 1 greater than 1? Definitely not. So this loop is going to break out. So what this does, it checks the condition. Now that A will be 1, it's going to break out on this loop, and that will be the end of the loop. So if we run this, you can see I have numbers 10 to 2 printed out on the screen, just as I explained. So you can play around with this while loop. You can put an if statement, a nested if, an if statement in a while block, and see what type of output you get or errors you jump into, just to get your hands dirty. And this will be the end of today's tutorial. I'll be posting more videos on this series, so just follow up on the playlist. If you like this video, please click the like button and leave a sub. Thanks guys.